Chapter 42. Listen and repeat. A conversation. Was he climbing the stairs? Yes, he was. Were the lifts working? No, they weren't. Was she eating lunch at her desk? Yes, she was. Was she working very hard? Yes, she was. Was he wearing boots? Yes, he was. Was it snowing? Yes, it was. Were they making carbon copies of the letters? Yes, they were. Was the Xerox working? No, it wasn't. Why was he climbing the stairs? Because the lifts weren't working. Why was she eating lunch at her desk? Because she was working very hard. Why was he wearing boots? Because it was snowing. Why were they making carbon copies of the letters? Because the Xerox wasn't working. Could he find her in the Xerox room? No, he couldn't. Could he go down to the coffee shop just then? No, he couldn't. Could she read his handwriting? No, she couldn't. Could they take him to the factory that day? No, they couldn't. He couldn't go to Paris on Thursday. He could go on Friday. He couldn't get a seat on the 9 o'clock flight. He could get a seat on the 8 o'clock flight. She couldn't take shorthand. She could type. They couldn't take him to the factory on Monday. They could take him on Tuesday. Who wrote several letters to Mr. Brown? Some businessmen in Hamburg wrote several letters to him. Did he visit them after a few weeks? Yes, he did. What did they show to him? They showed their offices to him. What else did they show to him? They showed their equipment to him. What do they manufacture? They manufacture electronic equipment. What else did they show to him? They showed their new plant to him. What did they give to him? They gave samples of their equipment to him. What did he send to them when he got back? He sent a copy of his report to them. What did they show him? They showed him their new plant. When did they show it to him? They showed it to him on Monday. What did you send her? I sent her a package. When did you send it to her? I sent it to her last week. What did they send him? They sent him some samples of their equipment. When did they send them to him? They sent them to him last month. Vocabulary: address, boot, carbon copy, change, noun. Client: different electronic equipment. Extra, adjective. Extra, adverb. First, adverb. Hamburg. Handwriting. Hard, adverb. Out of order. Package. Plant. Sample. Shorthand. Space. Steady. Temporary. Truck worker. Verbs: to be, cold, to book, to climb, to decide, to do business with, to fold, to go over, to hire, to manufacture, to notify someone of something, to visit someone. Extra usage notes. The term extra, meaning something additional, can be used both as an adjective and as an adverb. Example: to do extra work / to work extra, equals fare del lavoro straordinario. The prefix extra before an adjective means of higher degree. Example, extra large equals very large size. The noun shorthand appears in expressions with the verb to take. Example, to take shorthand equals stenografare. To take down something in shorthand equals stenografare qualcosa. The verb to climb, often followed by up, takes a direct object. Example, John is climbing up a tree. Reading Mr. Brown's firm had to move because they needed more space. They found another office on the 20th floor of a different building. They had to pack everything and take it to the new building in trucks. They moved the library and the office machines first. After that, the partners moved, and finally the secretaries went over. They had a new address and new telephone numbers, so they had to notify all their clients. Their clients are the people who do business with them. They decided to send out a letter with the new address and telephone numbers. There was a lot of extra work, so they had to hire some temporary workers. Temporary workers don't have steady jobs. They work a week here and a week there. They put the temporary workers in the library. They folded letters and put them in envelopes. Pete ran the letters through the postage machine, and the others took them to the post office in big bags. After a week, they sent out all the letters. The verb to send, followed by out, means to send out, to issue, for example, a circular. The verb to run, followed by through, means to pass something through, as in this case. Comprehension exercise. What did Mr. Green's firm have to do? They had to move. Why did they have to move? Because they needed more space. Where did they find another office? On the 20th floor of a different building. Did they move to the same or a different building? To a different building. Did they have to pack everything? Yes, they did. How did they take it to the new building? In trucks. What did they move first? The library and the office machines. Who moved next? The partners. Who moved last? The secretaries. Why did they have a new address? Because they moved to a different building. Did they have new telephone numbers? Yes, they did. Who did they have to notify? All their clients. Who are their clients? The people who do business with them. What did they decide to send out? A letter with the new address and telephone numbers. Was there a lot of extra work? Yes, there was. Why did they have to hire some temporary workers? Because there was a lot of extra work. Do temporary workers have steady jobs? No, they don't. Where did they put the temporary workers? In the library. What did they do? They folded letters and put them in envelopes. What did Mark do? He ran the letters through the postage machine. How long did it take to send out all the letters? 1 week. Grammar auxiliary verb. Can, could, affirmative/negative. Mark can go out now. Mark could go out then. John can't go out now. John couldn't go out then. Miss Green can type. Miss Green could type. Miss Brown can't type. Miss Brown couldn't type. Interrogative. Can Mark go out now? Could Mark go out then? Can Miss Green type? Could Miss Green type? Can you show me the way to the station? Could you show me the way to the station? The modal verb can and its past form could indicate the ability or capacity to do something because the situation allows it. Example. She can drive a car. It expresses this possibility in the present or perfect with can, and in the past with could. The negative forms cannot, can't, and could not, couldn't express the impossibility of doing something. Can and could also express a polite request. For the present and future, we use can. Could is used in the past or to sound more formal. Examples. Last year, we could take a long holiday because we saved a lot of money. He could play the piano when he was 7 years old. Mark, can you wait half an hour? Mr. Green, could you wait half an hour? Let's review together. Direct and indirect object. Mary wrote Tom a letter. Mary wrote a letter to Tom. Mary wrote it to Tom. Mary wrote it to him. We bought our sister a record. We bought a record for our sister. We bought it for our sister. We bought it for her. In English, verbs that take two objects allow two constructions. In the first, the indirect object, without a preposition, comes before the direct object. In the second, the indirect object follows the direct object and is introduced by a preposition, to or for. The first construction is more common, but it is possible only when there is no ambiguity between the direct and indirect objects. The first construction is not used when the direct object is a pronoun. Comprehension exercise answers. 1. They had to move. 2. Because they needed more space. 3. They found another office on the 20th floor of a different building. 4. They moved to a different building. 5. Yes, they did. 6. They took it to the new building in trucks. 7. They moved the library and the office machines first. 8. They moved first. 9. The partners moved next. 10. The secretaries moved last. 11. Yes, they did. 12. Yes, they did. 13. They had to notify all their clients. 14. They're the people who do business with them. 15. They decided to send out a letter with the new address and telephone numbers. 16. Yes, there was, because there was a lot of extra work. 17. No, they don't. 18. They put them in the library. 19. They folded letters and put them in envelopes. 20. Mark ran the letters through the postage machine and then took them to the post office in big bags. 21. It took a week to send out all the letters.